accountant by profession, and I welcome all of you to this webinar, which is organized by Optotax. This is day 2 of our webinar for this learned session for chartered accountants, which is adopting to automation, and this is unfolding the future of CA practice. Right? Or after the successful completion of day 1, we have here reached to day 2. Previously, we have already discussed about cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, and taxation front on cryptocurrencies and legality of cryptocurrency in India. So after so much of grasp of knowledge about this tech stuff, we are now here on our day 2. And today we are going to learn about much more interesting topic, which is about blockchain technologies, artificial intelligence, the use cases in taxation and audit front, and most importantly, how to improve the efficiency via use of technology. And when we talk about blockchain and technologies, and this will be very unfair if we do not mention our faculty for today, because he has been very profound and known for his engagement and expertise in upcoming technologies, but we'll come up to that. As you all know that this day 2 has been organized by Optotax, and Optotax is one of the largest GST platform in India. It is a technology and knowledge platform, and in our journey, we have been trying to make your GST compliance smooth. It has been now trusted by more than 50,000 tax professionals for their 1 million plus clients. So it's quite efficient, and we keep organizing these kind of interesting webinars with very relevant hot topics like taxation, audit, and other fronts. And also we deal with the technical part as well, and also the latest birds which is in the market. So considering the technical part, which is also the current heat of the environment, we are here with this series, which is the future of CA practice, unfolding the future of CA practice, adapting to automation. And today on this day 2, we have with us CA 𝐁𝐥𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 before all of you, as he is a very profound and known personality already, but I feel a delight for that I get this opportunity to introduce him before all of you on this virtual stage. So CA Premchand Kashi is an robotic process automation and blockchain technology trainer in this fintech domain. He also is a company secretary, a problem solver, and also a fintechie. He possesses 4.5 years of experience in fintech domain, such as RPA and blockchain, along with audit and compliances. He has also worked as a project manager to implement digital workforce. He, as a subject matter expert for giving ideas to ensure the task is done by soft robots instead of human working on the repetitive rule-based activities. He is passionate in technology, teaching to financial students and professionals on various strategic technologies like automation, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and digital finance. Currently, he is working with a startup and has won various appreciations on his contribution to digitization and adoption to technologies. He believes fintech is the future of financial professionals, and his aim is to skill the learners in a way that will make them easy to understand all these training technologies with proven use cases. His aim is to make the non-tech learners to understand the tech content in a simple and easy way. He believes in never settling and always striving for innovation in you and your ideas. So that's really a big thing, that being a chartered accountant and a company secretary, he has so much been into technical arena. So, and I don't want to take much time and everything because I just want to hand him over the stage so that you all get this opportunity to hear from this such a talented and young personality. So handing over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rohit, and thank you one and all for joining for today's session. Being a Saturday and Sunday, much of us prefer to opt to spend time with the families and routine stuff. But you guys are here to learn something new. And yes, in the next 1.5 hours, I'll not take much time. We'll definitely resume our weekends, our Saturday, Sundays, and spend time with the family post this session. But in the next 1.5 hours, be with me so that I'll be teaching these two topics, which is called blockchain and RPA, or together with artificial intelligence, these two topics in a simple and easy terms. As told by Rohit, my objective is to ensure that we commerce students or we finance professionals should have a platform where we can learn all this technical stuff without touching the technical terminology, right? So our part is to I have a slide to explain what are the various roles that we as a chartered accountants, we as auditors will be handling when we are interacting with these projects. That can be CA in practice, that can be CA in the industrial sectors like serving a job, right? So I have a separate slide for that as well. And yeah, so without, I think you got much of my introduction from Rohit, myself Prem Kasi, and I'm into these sort of technical implementations that can be blockchain, that can be RPA into my previous companies. And currently I work in a startup, just not to mention the name because that's in the stealth mode, which will be coming out in the market very soon. So I was based out of Hyderabad right now. And yeah, I think with that introduction, let me share the screen and start the content. Can someone please confirm once the screen is visible so that it is set to go? Yeah.
The screen is visible to me, but I guess a confirmation from audience will be much more appreciable. Yes, it is visible. We get an affirmation, so we can move ahead.
Perfect. So stay with me. In the next 45 minutes, I'll be talking more on blockchain. Yeah, the next 45 minutes, I'll be speaking much about on RPA and artificial intelligence. And believe me, to make the session more interesting, I'll be interacting with you guys. Maybe I'll be asking very small questions that can be guess answers. Maybe you can say yes or no, only that. Yeah. And if you have any questions, definitely the floor will be open at the end of the session. Meanwhile, you can put all your questions on the chat. Yeah, I'm okay to spend more 30 minutes more as well, so that all your questions will be getting answered. So I think this was already covered. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a company secretary, just like many of you, and more like I just want to continue my career into fintech, finance plus technology. And if you see what covers the fintech, I do have a separate slide which will come immediately after this. Yeah. Yeah, I have worked as a project manager for RP implementation for an MNC in Bahrain. So the company was Almod International Group, which is just like a Reliance in India. We do have 24 divisions, of course, the operating segments. And I was in charge of a project where we are supposed to implement robotic process automations, which means the soft robots will be preparing the works just like the way we do. In fact, I do have beautiful demos to show you, to give you a visualization in this particular session, right? And yes, I also have my experience into blockchain, where I do have my own blog, which is premkasi.in, where I have 200 plus use cases on blockchain explained in simple and easy terms. Even I'll show you that as well. And yeah, I started my career with L&T, Larsen and Toubro from Chennai, right? So with that, let's start the session. Fine. So before starting into actual topics, I just want to spend 2 minutes by showing some of the images and asking you some of the questions, right? So the first image is this one. Right. So the first image on the screen is this one. Just observe carefully. I just want to relate these things, these changes to the curriculum or to the scenario that we are into. So that I just want to take 2 minutes, which is definitely outside the scope of blockchain and RPA. Right. So here is the image one, and just note down what you are able to see. I think there is a bridge. There is a river flowing under the bridge. I think people are using, of course, I can see the lights on the bridge. Correct. So that's all about this particular bridge, which is in image one. Now let us see image two. Right. So image two also, I do have a bridge. I do have water, but it's not, I mean, I do have a river, but it's no longer flowing under the bridge. And I can see almost people are not at all using. It is completely abandoned. Correct. So image one, image two. So here comes the question. Just give a random guess. I'm not sure how many of you know this. Well, so is it same or different? Image one and image two, both are same or different? Just a wild guess. Different. Madhusudana, thank you. Different. Same. Pallavi, Prasadna, different. Of course. So the majority goes with the different, I can say, with the votes I got. Okay, different. I can see. I think the game was over. It was towards different. Any more same? Maybe. Let me see which version I'll be voting. Which part of this group I'll be preferring to. Great. So not to take much time, the answer is same. Both are absolutely same. Both are absolutely same. Only the difference is that these pics has been taken at a different period of time. You know about this particular bridge? It is called Honduras Bridge. This was built across the river called 𝐁𝐥𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 from this beautiful example is that the river has moved, which means that it is due to the external factors, the bridge has lost its importance and utility. The bridge was constructed very fine, like it is doing its job perfectly, like it was serving the purpose. People are using it, river is flowing under the bridge, everything was set. But the problem is not with the bridge. The problem is with the external forces that has changed the river flow, and thus the bridge has become useless. You can see the image too. Due to some natural circumstances, the river is no longer flowing under the bridge. Rather, it is flowing next to the bridge, so that you can see what the bridge situation is. So the same thing is happening into our professions as well. Like we are very well equipped with the accounting, taxation, finance, audit, whatever for that matter, whatever academics, whatever experiences that we have from our corporates or whatever, we are very well trained. But if you see the external forces of getting the things done, maybe filing of GST, just like the way Optotax has done it, right? They have automated it so that reconciliation is no longer required. Similarly, talk about accounting entries. The way people are passing accounting entries by manually selecting the ledgers from the Tally or say SAP, it's out of, I can say out of fashion now, because we do have OCR technologies. Like I just simply scan the invoice, purchase invoice or sale invoice or whatever for that matter. Let's take a purchase invoice, right? And now the OCR feature, which is available into my ERP. And again, I'm not using a system for this. I'm using my mobile phone, which I'll be scanning the vendor invoice, which I'm receiving. And yes, from that moment, accounting is also done. Where the OCR feature is capturing all the details, all the fields, whatever you imagine, item code, item name, taxation, vendor name, payment terms, whatever you are feeding into ERP. It's already automatically captured. And then and there itself, accounting is also done. So what you need to do is only to submit that. I can say authenticate it. Only that's the job of future accountant. And in some companies, even that is happening, right? So that is the area we are into. And it's not the problem of us. It is due to the external forces which are changing the way the processes are carrying out, the audit, the taxation, the accounting, right? So these processes are getting changed with the advancements of technology. You can imagine maybe income tax. Let me take an example. You can even file ITR 1 by simply uploading the form 16 in a ClearTax website. I'm not sure how many of you have tried it. It's almost free. Exactly, Pallavi. Updation is more important. Yes, maybe same. Perfect. It's not the second is under construction. It's just happened after that. Yeah. Thank you, Nataraj. Perfect. So that's the thing. It is due to these advancements in technologies, which is coming from these startups, we can say. Our processes are completely changed. And thus the companies or even the clients or the professional, I can say the high network clients doesn't want a routine CA auditor, routine chartered accountant into his payroll. No, they already have this automated. And I'm not doing a work. I mean, majority of us or most of our work is not based on giving some decision. It's pure passing of accounting entries, filing the taxation, or doing some compliance things on MCA portal. This is something which is as per Act. We are not giving more and more judgments on that, our decisions on that. It is simple. We are following the law. We are following the IFRS. We are following the GST law and making all these filings. But these are already updated with the technology. And thus we are supposed to get an understanding on how those technologies are working so that we will stay relevant in the current market scenarios. Yeah. So that's the point I just want to bring in, my friends, so that I just took 5 minutes of your time. But yes, I hope this will have a serious impact on the way we will be thinking about the technology. Great. If you enjoyed this, you can give a thumbs up. Great. So just not to waste time, just now we have seen the problems or this current scenario that we are into. Now it's time to think of what is something I need to get updated, right? So it's nothing but ABCDs of digital world. Okay, so what is this ABCD? Let's keep it very simple, right? A for automation, robotic process automation, where I said that the tasks which we are doing, what are the tasks? I'll just show you all these things in dedicated slides. Just hold on for maybe in the next the half part, so that I'll be showing more on automation, right? So all the routine tasks that we are doing, like passing an accounting entry, preparing MIS, approving some workflow emails, whatever for that matter, whatever extent of automation that we can implement, we can think of are getting automated. So the first ABCD or the first A stands for automation. Next comes blockchain. I'm sure people who has attended yesterday's session or even people who has researched on this topic will be definitely knowing this, what exactly is blockchain. But in this session, in the next 5 minutes, I'll be starting what exactly is blockchain with a simple and very easy example so that I'll never touch the technical terms, believe me, right? So that is all about B. C for cryptocurrencies, which is something happened about yesterday. And almost, I think majority of us might be knowing about this, a Bitcoin, right? And I think let me ask a crazy question here. How many cryptocurrencies are there in the market? Just a wild guess. Just type your number so that I'll give my own number, right? And D stands for data analytics. Yeah, if at all you are someone who wants to play with the data, go with data analytics. If you are someone who wants to excel on the blockchain, go with decentralized finance, which is DeFi. Either of the things you can choose it. But my suggestion here is that all of us should have a basic understanding of all these terminologies, all these technologies. It's not that I'll only learn about automation. I want to be an expert there. No, you'll be an automation expert, but learn about BCD, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, data analytics, at least the basics. All right. Taking my case, I selected A and D first, automation, blockchain, where you can see current job is on to a part of blockchain, and my previous exposure is on automation. But cryptocurrencies, DeFi are my passion. You can see a lot of my YouTube videos on my channel, which I'll be sharing with you guys very soon. So there also I'll be exploring more on the cryptocurrencies, where I'll be analyzing the projects, giving those white paper analysis and all. Yeah. So that's the thing. So just get an understanding on all these basic topics first. And if you're more interested, be an expert in any of these areas. So just to tell about the contents. So in the next coming slides, I'll be discussing why we need blockchain, right? So my ideology will be starting from not what is blockchain. I'll never speak about what is blockchain directly. I'll point out to the speakers why we need to have a technology called blockchain. And once we are very sure of the need for blockchain, then we'll learn what is blockchain. Without knowing the need, there is no point in directly learning what, right? So I got some replies. More than 18,000 cryptocurrencies. Yes, 𝐿𝐤𝐜𝐴. Well, yes, it's more than 18,000, yeah, literally. And that is the number which is listed on a coin market cap. Right? Only that website. We do have other projects as well, which is not listed there, but still they're cryptocurrencies. So I can say with a more happy face, it's more than 18,000. Perfect, Nataraj. Thank you. So first I'll be teaching out why blockchain, then what is blockchain. Then we'll see what are the various types of blockchain. So why this is important. We need to suggest to our clients tomorrow. You might be in a practice, you might be in a company serving as a CFO or a finance manager, but once the blockchain discussions comes, you are supposed to lead that project. So that's my goal. And that is how I got this opportunity. I'm not a developer, but when my company is speaking about the RPA, I just put my thoughts so that I was the project manager there, right? And I'll also discuss about Bitcoin and blockchain, something might have discussed yesterday, but a 2-minute, right? And where are we in respect to India? So with respect to Indian domain, what are the various blockchain projects which are happening in each of our states? Right? Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, whatever, right? And most important, I'll discuss the use cases in finance. Maybe this is the area I just want to put more focus. So I just put more, I think more than 15 minutes on this, right? Similarly, the second half, what is artificial intelligence? What is the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and RPA? So these three technologies are something which we'll be using quite often. And I can say we'll be using as a substitutes. If something is happened by magic, we'll say AI, we'll say automation, or we'll say machine learning. But there is a difference. We'll be figuring it out in a very soon, in a simple and easy examples, right? And next, same automation examples in finance and accounts, and also the various use cases across other domains like taxation, even audit, even finance and accounts, right? And the last and the most important, I'll be discussing with you all, what are the various roles that we can expect? Being a chartered accountant, being an auditor, what are the various roles that we can expect in these two domains, right? So I think that's all about the intro slides. So let's get into core topic. Yeah, what is the time now? It was 20 minutes I took, fine. So let me finish the blockchain concept in the next 25 minutes, right? So why we need such a technology called blockchain? We do have a lot of other technologies called OCR. We do have scanning. You do something, you'll get paid. I mean, the UPIs, right? And you also do have a robust ERPs into your offices or your industries. You have the best of the best SAP product. You have the Zoho books, whatever. We are very good. We do have all the technology features and we are very well comfortable in using that. But why we need one more technology called blockchain? That comes the question, and let us see the justification to it, right? So believe me, I'll not be using technical terms. I'll keep it very simple, right? So let's look at the recent hacks and data leakages that was done, right? Let me go to Google and just type something like data hacks. That's it. I'll not type more data. I may type this way, recent data hacks. So how many I can see it's the data hacks which has happened yesterday or within few hours. You can see here, Ubisoft, there is a data hack. Samsung, there is a data hack, which I hope this will be coming. Yeah, I think yes. Samsung, there is a data hack where they have taken the source code of Galaxy devices. Yeah, that's what the Samsung, which is for 190 GB. Similarly, we do have data hacks from NSDL, CDSL. I mean, I think NSDL, where you can see 49 million Indian investors' data has been stolen, right? Correct. I do have it open as well. Oh, let me see. Yeah, this is from Samsung. Yeah, this is from even Russia. Even the current ongoing issues, you can see Ukraine, there is a fight which is happening with the data leaks. Correct. So why all these are happening, right? Even just to continue our slides, we do have a big data hack from Upgrade, where all the signed up users data has been leaked, and that includes all those credit card numbers, debit card numbers, CVVs, PIN, even the residential addresses, phone numbers, everything, email IDs, every personal data has been hacked. And they will be selling this particular data on a dark web, even sometimes for free. My personal data is being sold free in that particular dark web, or even for a pennies of or dollars whatsoever, right? So why this is happening? Despite these big companies, Facebook, LinkedIn, Samsung, these are very big players. These are not a small companies, not a startups, and not behind drying out of funds. They do have a lot of funds, and they know the best of the best encryption mechanisms, data storage mechanisms. But why these hacks are happening? Is it the problem with the companies? Is it the problem with the technology? Any guess? Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, I can't tell in Telugu. Yeah, I need to follow in English. Yeah. Any guess, guys, why these hacks are happening? Is it due to technology, or is it due to default of these big players? Even Apple, Facebook, whatever. Exactly. The problem is with the technology. Absolutely. The problem is with the technology. No matter what the company you are, you can be Amazon, you can be Microsoft, you can be IBM, whatever you are, SAP, Oracle, coming back to our finance plans. Yeah. Whatever company you are, you can never stop this, because this is not something in your hands. So the solution is get the best technology, get a unique technology that can solve these things, which is the blockchain. So since that, I hope I can speak hours on this, but still it's not the right time. So having known this, we are supposed to have a technology which will address this. And there comes the concept called blockchain. So what is blockchain now? Since that we understood the need for blockchain, let us see what, and then let us see how it is going to serve the purpose. Yeah. So I think that sequence makes sense, right? So now what is blockchain? Leave all these things that you are seeing on the slide. Just believe me, blockchain is nothing but a database. Just a database where you will be storing your data. As simple as that. And what is data? That can be anything. That can be your rental agreement, that can be your personal details, that can be your company, ERP data, your rental agreement, your letter of credit, whatever you name in a finance world. That is, everything is a data. And that is something you are storing on a database, which is acting as a blockchain. Now, so there is a huge difference between the database and the blockchain. Database is very simple. It can be a pen drive, or it can be a hard disk. It can be a database server. But when it will become a blockchain? Well, now let us see how it will be our unique features of blockchain, so that we can call some database as a blockchain. Making sense? Blockchain is nothing. It's not a software. Maybe sometimes I get answers like this: blockchain is a software, blockchain is an application. No, it's a database, right? So what is the difference? How this database is different from the routine database? This slide will answer to you guys. Yeah. So is it making sense? Okay, you can give your comments or whatever in the chat session. Yeah. So let's see what are the unique features of blockchain, or when I can call a simple database as a blockchain, right? The first and the most important quality of a blockchain is data can never be corrupted. Sir, how can in SAP also I can't delete a data once I entered accounting entry? Bro, we can't delete. Super admin access, they can delete. They can do something from the back end. The engineers who are working on SAP, they can edit that particular record without any audit trail, without any proof. Because they are centralized databases. A person called SAP, a person called Oracle, a person called Zoho Books will have super admin access on their product. As a user like you might have a restricted access because that's the way it was designed. A user, an employee called Prem will not have a delete access, but a developer of that particular product will definitely have it. Correct? But blockchain is not like that. Any record once entered into the blockchain will be staying forever. So how many years? Infinite. Right? Let me put a star, but it's for infinite years. That's the first unique feature which a blockchain is having, which is called immutability, which means that data once entered can never be challenged, can never be altered, and that acts as a foolproof for n number of years. You can prove that in any court, that you can use as an evidence across any situation, but that's a true copy, right? So second one, it's a decentralized technology, which means that no single party will be owning that particular network. No single party is the owner. Let me connect the dots. Imagine in your company, you are installing a particular server or a particular ERP, right? You purchase something from Zoho Books or even Optotax for that matter, and you are customizing that. But here you are sole owner of that particular application. But in a blockchain, it's not going to happen that way. It's a decentralized. No one is the owner of that particular network or that particular database, right? So that is all about the decentralization, which means that no single party will be owning this. It is the technology for all, and every party inside that particular network is the owner, right? So nothing can be changed by a single owner, right? And next, it has enhanced security. So how you will be saying that enhanced security? Because of the hashing mechanisms it is using, the data will be encrypted in such a way that it's a one-way encryption, which means that a statement of a rental agreement can be encrypted to one way, hash text that can never be decrypted. That is being using a technology called SHA-256 hash mechanism, so that a data once encrypted onto the blockchain can never be decrypted, right? And moreover, it can never be altered. And these two reasons, it is more secure, right? I'm making it very simple, guys. You might ask me all about the technical stuff. Maybe in the doubt sessions, I'll be sharing my relevant videos to get that answer, right? And the fourth important thing, this is distributed ledger, which means that data is not storing at a single location. You can see the image. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. Imagine these 7 blocks are spread across 7 continents or the 7 states or the 7 countries, right? So data is not being stored at any single location. Rather, data is spread across multiple locations. When I say multiple locations, same copy of data is being stored at a multiple locations, right? So if myself being in India, I just want to change the data, I can only change in Indian version, not in US version, not in Russia version, not in Ukraine version, not in Antarctica version, because my data is only changed. The rest 6 copies will be speaking the true data, so that my version will be false. Simple rule of majority. Correct? So that is all about the concept called distributed ledger. So when you hear about the blockchain, imagine that data is not going to stay in a single location. And just to connect back the dots, why these data hacks are happening with Facebook, LinkedIn, or even Upgrade, CDSL, why? They are centralized databases, centralized ledgers. They are not distributed. They're at a single location. Any hacker is going to hack that particular location. Data is changed forever, right? But here it's a distributed. Hope that makes clear. Right. If you have any doubts on these 7 things, I'm going to discuss the 3. You can comment it so that I can explain more, because this is the core. Yeah. The next one is consensus mechanism, which is the technical topic, which means that systems which are in that network will automatically take the decisions. Yeah, that's more technical topic. If we want to deep down, that requires much more time. So imagine blockchain is a network or a database which follows its own instructions. It is not depending on any third party or any human to get into some approval, to get into some conclusion. No, it happens automatically. And how it is via I can say the proof of work. There are a lot of consensus mechanisms for that matter, which is technical stuff. But for now, imagine automatic approvals, agreements will be happening on a blockchain automatically, which means a system, you can say 7 systems, 7 systems which are in the image will be agreeing to the inputs automatically. No party will be pushing it manually, right? So that's all about the consensus mechanism, which is technical topic. Definitely, I would recommend to invest more time on that. And next 2 are very easy terms, very general terms, faster settlements. Why it is a faster settlement? Sir, I heard about Ripple. It is doing the international transfers across countries, but it is very fast. How? And why not with the existing fiat currency? Bro, existing fiat currency, existing banking systems are working as a standalone. My Indian SBI bank versus US SBI bank is a different databases. So transferring should happen across these much more banks, custodian banks. Again, US country custodian bank should receive that. They should settle that. All this takes time. But blockchain is a universal ledger where all the banks are on the same ledger. Same ERP every bank is using. Imagine how easy it will be. It doesn't take time, no matter where you are, in which country your bank is. It's a single ledger, universal ledger, where you can get all the settlements done. So that is all about the faster settlements. I hope that makes sense. And last thing, of course, this is not a unique feature, but combining all these 6 features, blockchain is giving you the trust. As simple as that. Correct? No? Which is something the existing technologies combinedly, you tell any technology, you add any technology above that, not able to give. But blockchain with these unique 6 qualities, it is able to bring the trust. Got it? So that is all about unique features of blockchain. And I have a message in the chat. Please extend distributed ledgers. Perfect. So basically imagine, I'm not sure of the name. Yeah, imagine this way. Your company is maintaining a ERP data. Correct? No? Of course, you will be maintaining your own server. That can be a cloud, that can be on-premise server. But that is in a centralized location. Only you are the owner and you are only the person maintaining that. But in case of distributed ledgers, it is spread across multiple nodes, multiple locations, or multiple laptops for that matter. Let's keep it very simple. Multiple servers it was located. It was not in a single server. Correct? So that is the term called distributed ledger technology, DLT. Perfect. So that is something blockchain is using. And Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto, when he is proposing the concept of blockchain, I can say Bitcoin blockchain, then he thought that no single person should be the owner. Why not? It can be a distributed type. Okay, it's my data. Data is mine, but why not store in a single location? I'm imagining a concept where the server is spread across 7 locations, and in each of this server, my data is there. Right? So that is all about the distributed ledger technology. Hope that makes sense and that's clear. Right. Okay, so let's move. I think we are running behind time. No problem. So how a transaction happens on blockchain? Yeah. So just look at this particular slide. Say, for example, I paid so-and-so person. Maybe let me take an accounting transaction. I paid so-and-so person X amount. So that particular command, that particular transaction will be hosted onto this network. Blockchain is a network again, database plus network. Okay. On this network, that particular transaction will be hosted. And one of the node, I'm not saying person, sorry, one of the computer which is forming part of this network will take that particular transaction and put it in a block. That's it. And next block will be created by linking to the previous block, which is again the basic feature of a blockchain. You can see blockchain will be something looking like this. You can see the first block, second block, third block, followed by n number of blocks. Currently, Bitcoin blockchain is having approximately 7 lakh blocks, right? So your transaction will be stored in one of these block as and when it occurs, and that particular block will be having link to the next block, so that will form a part of a chain, right? And if at all you want to modify any data, it will break, and the network will never accept such a change, and hence you can never change any data. So that's how the blockchain fundamental works. Just to make it very simple, yeah, I'll answer the question, Siva. Just to make it very simple, same copy of data will be stored across various computers, various nodes participating in the network. Yeah. And blocks will be created in a structure like this. Block number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say at this point, I'm doing some transaction with you that will be stored here in the first block. Just imagine. Yeah. First block from this moment. Say after 10 minutes, I'm doing one more transaction to so-and-so other person, maybe Siva. So that transaction will be on some 11th block, 12th block, whatever. At that point of time, what's the block number? There it will be added, right? So first transaction which I have done 10 minutes back might be on block number, say 6,05,000 something. A transaction which I'm doing in the next day can be on a 7,04,000 something block number. It depends on the network, right? So that way, all the transactions will be stored on a blockchain with a timestamps, right? And since it is following these unique qualities in the previous slide, these unique qualities, the data once entered can never be modified. So that blockchain is the true copy. Got it? So that's the way a transaction happens on a blockchain. Whatever transaction will be hosted, that will be picked up by a node and that will be put on a block. Very simple. I'm not complicating. There are various technical steps, but functional steps from a CA background, let's understand this way. A transaction will be done, that will be hosted, which means propagated, and that will be picked up by a computer or a node in the network, and that will be added to the block. Thus, a transaction is complete, right? A transaction can be anything: a rental agreement, an accounting entry, an actual currency payment, anything, right? So let me take a question. Same data is storing in multiple locations. What happened? Exactly, that's what. Yeah, I think this is the question which we need to answer with security mechanisms. Let me go back to the previous slide. So here, if you see enhanced security, it uses SHA-256 hash mechanism, right? Which means data is encrypted. That encrypted data will be using private key, public key concept, so that only the owner of the transaction will be able to decrypt. That's the first thing. Okay, only the owner will be able to decrypt. That's the first thing. Second thing, it's a one-way encryption, as I told you. So hacker, assume he hacked the data. He can never reverse it. Correct, Shiva? He can never reverse it because of the encryption protocol. It's a one-way encryption, right? Only the owner who is having the public key, the private key, will be able to decrypt, right? So I hope that question was answered, Shiva. Anything you can ask, right? So let me go ahead. I think running short of time, but yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's learn about the type of blockchain. Since that we got an understanding about the blockchain, let's learn about the types. And again, there are 4 types. Some websites you might see 3 types, but no, it's 4 types. And for now, we'll be concentrating only on 2 types, just to make it clear, not to complicate, which are private and public. So what is public blockchain? What is private blockchain? And why you need to learn this? You are someone who is going to suggest your client, suggest your company, right? So that time you should know these types of blockchain so that you'll have a clear idea on the project. So first, let's learn public. What is public? So public blockchain is something where any party like you and me or so-and-so XYZ can enter into the network. Can be a party, can be a stakeholder in that particular network. So that means a public. So give me an example, Bitcoin blockchain. Any one of us can interact with the Bitcoin blockchain. Buy a Bitcoin, do a transaction, or do a transfer of Bitcoin, you are a part of Bitcoin blockchain. Because it's a public, you can see the image, it's an open ledger. Anyone can enter, anyone can sell their proceedings, but they're a party to that particular network, correct? But what is private? Private means that it is closed, as simple as that. So imagine I'm starting a company tomorrow. Maybe I might provide a financial services, I might provide audit services, or whatever. I might be a consultant as well, whatever for that matter. Maybe I might be a company which is providing payments across international borders. I'm using a private blockchain, which means that if you are a customer to me, your record will be on a blockchain. That's it, as simple as that. This is not open for everyone. No person can verify the data. Only you being an interested party in that particular transaction or an actual party in that particular transaction, you'll be having an access. That is a private blockchain. Give me an example. Let's take a Ripple, right? Or let's take an example of enterprise applications, where you can see last time, I can say a very good example of maybe I'll come to the examples as well so that I'll show the websites, right? So let's imagine my company has implemented a blockchain where entire ERP data will be storing on a blockchain. So I don't need to share that to all the public, correct? I'll only share to my employees, to my vendors, to my customers, if at all required, correct? So that's a private blockchain where the only parties are my customers, my employees, my vendors, my banks. You can add to that list, but that's okay. Because I'm dealing with them, then only their parties. No, just like someone can come, verify the data, view the data. No, that will not be possible. So that's the difference between the public blockchain and the private blockchain, right? So, sir, we got a clarity. We want to learn one more thing out of these 4. You can learn about the federated blockchain, which means that instead of a single company handling the network, multiple companies, multiple organizations will be handling that network. When I say network, blockchain, right? Give me an example. TCS, IBM coming together and forming a blockchain network. Because there are 2 parties. First thing is TCS, second thing is IBM. Or add one more, Amazon Web Services. So these 3 players are proposing a blockchain, or Tech Mahindra for that matter. These 4 parties are proposing a blockchain, which is called a federated blockchain, because here you can see 4 parties are owners. Earlier, compared to private, it's a single party. So depending on your use case, just imagine now, let's come back to imagination. Say a client has come and asked you what type of blockchain I can use proposing so and so supply chain, right? I mean, that's the criteria, that's the scenario. So that time you will be proposing, it's a private blockchain. Your company will be managing the entire network and your suppliers will be part of it. That's a private blockchain. That's it. And tomorrow a use case came where you want to provide some citizenship services, government services. So that time government plus private institutions can be hosting networks simultaneously, just like the way our passport things are done. It's done by TCS, correct? Or Essential, whatever. I think it's TCS now, right? So there it's a combined part of government agencies plus private agencies or plus more private agencies. Then it's a federated blockchain. As simple as that. Let's not complicate. Public, anyone can enter. Anyone like me can be a party to that particular ledger. Public. No, unless I'm a supplier to a company, I can never be a part of that blockchain. It's a private blockchain because single company, single Prem & Co is the owner of blockchain. It's a private. No, Prem & Co, some Manish & Co, some XYZ & Co has proposed combined a blockchain. That's a federated. That's it. Right. So I think we spent much of our time on understanding the blockchain basics. Let's come back and see the use cases directly. Right. So where are we in India? Is it something like India is not implementing blockchain use cases, or is it something China is leading? Is it something Dubai is leading? No, India is equally leading. I will put India as a third location or the third highest use cases compared to the blockchain. I mean, with relation to the blockchain use cases. The first thing absolutely goes with China because they do have a lot of blockchain pilot use cases across various fields. You name anything. It can be music, it can be art, it can be finance, it can be audit, taxation, or even HR operations. Anything. There is a use case, at least in the pilot phases in some or the other company, some or the other country. And if you want to ask me anything specific on an industry segment, I'm very free to share with you all because those will be available at my own blog, which I'll be sharing in a little while. Yeah, maybe you can look at any country, any state, like let me take Telangana. So this particular state is actively focusing on land registrations on blockchain, chit funds operations, microfinance, digital education certificates. I can add voting because this is oldest slide. So currently we can even add 5 or 6 more pilot projects happening in a state. You can take any state for that matter. So not to spend much time, I'll be moving ahead. And these are the various companies which are working on blockchain projects. Facebook, Apple, Facebook has Meta, which all of us might be knowing from the last 1 month. And that is exactly on the blockchain. And they're transforming the way two people will be meeting, right? Just like the way we both are talking over Zoom, that will be a direct Meta meeting where you can see my complete presence. I can see your complete presence and we both will be sitting on a beach and discussing the topics, right? So these are the various companies which are working on the blockchain use cases, right? Even you can see Tencent, that's the gaming, Google, Ford, Toyota having absolute blockchain use cases. They are excelled in the supply chain management on blockchain implementation by implementing blockchain, right? And we do have a lot of use cases in insurance, AI group, United Healthcare. Health sector is one such important application where you can see a lot of use cases in implementation stage on blockchain, right? And you do have something from Samsung, FedEx, logistics, everything, right? So let me go back. These are something just to imagine or just to let you know, guys, right? So these are some basic stuff which I don't want to cover in this session. And now the core part, what is that we have in finance? So since that you have told a lot about blockchain, what is something that we really have on finance and accounting taxation? Well, these are the things. The first thing I would like to introduce to you is the triple accounting system. So what is this? Single accounting we know, which means that we are recording only one line of accounting entry. And yeah, that's the old story. Maybe I'm not born that day, so I can't comment on how that is working, right? So what is double accounting entry? So it was a period where we are supposed to pass debit and credit. Yeah, Shiva, I'll definitely ask that, answer that. Yeah. In the double accounting entry, what is supposed to happen? There is a debit, there is a credit, so that you are referring to two different ledgers. So that you can say that is having a logic at least. I'm paying rent is being paid, that is expense, cash is going out. At least that there is a logic. Okay, so compared to first, I mean single accounting, I was much happy with the double accounting. But what are the problems with the double accounting? And what is this triple? Let's learn both of these things. First, what are the problems with double accounting? Anyone can tell. What are the problems that you are passing debit credit or multiple debits, multiple credits, whatever? But it's a double accounting entry. And what is the problem with that? Are you guys okay with that? Just give yes or no is fine. Maybe. I think we are not having much time. So yes or no. Yes, happy. No. Maybe some loopholes are there which I want to address. That's it. Yeah. Lengthy in process, that is fine. Exactly, Yogesh, exactly. Audit takes time. There is no linking, man. My books of accounting and my books of accounts, I have a double entry. The same should be with the purchaser, I mean supplier, assuming this is a P2P transaction, purchase transaction, correct? No? So my books of accounting, I'll be passing an entry. His books of accounting, he will be passing a double entry. Now, these two guys need to reconcile with the GST or reconciliation. That's one of the best example. Due to that only, we are supposed to do all this reconciliation stuff, do a lot of Excels, reconcile one-to-one. And if everything is fine, then only file the return. That can be GST, that can be income tax or whatever for that matter, right? We don't have that two books communicating to each other. And we often say vendor reconciliations. Why we need to do? Is GST on blockchain? As of now, no, but definitely someday that will be coming definitely on the blockchain. I'll also explain with the facts, Archana, on that. Yeah, exactly. Balance confirmations problem with outsiders, right? This is what happening. Though we have double accounting, it is in my books, it's a double entry, but I don't have that. My copy of books is not communicating to other person's copy. Maybe I'm using SAP, he is using Oracle, that's okay. But these two should communicate so that there is no reconciliation. And there's no absolute problem with double accounting. But there is a gap. And to fill that gap, we have triple accounting. So what is a triple accounting? Okay, so let's make it very simple. Triple means 3 times accounting entry should be done. Okay, so imagine that way. Triple means 3 times accounting is done. It's not the 3 debits or 3 credits. No, 3 places accounting is getting happened. So when and where it is happening? First accounting entry is on a blockchain. Second accounting entry is on party A. Third accounting entry is on party B. Ideally, party A and party B are the parties of the transaction, but they are recording on a common ledger, which is blockchain. So why is this? Is it really required? They are already into agreement with something and they know what amount to pass. Is it really required? Does it make sense? Yes, because that is something on a blockchain, which no parties can argue later. Correct? First, they are proposing something on a blockchain. They're accepting to it. Then blockchain record is getting created and the same is replicated to SAP on person A, SAP in person B, or enterprise A, enterprise B. That's it. So there is no need of reconciliation. There is no need of errors. There's no point in passing wrong accounting entries because it is all happening from a single blockchain trusted platform. From there, it is moving to respective ERPs, right? Exactly. Sharing our ledger with others through distributed ledger. Only those authenticated parties will be sharing that. And when we say blockchain is transparent, don't assume that every information will be seen by others. No, we do have privacy. We do have all that access mechanisms, controls, right? Exactly, Pranav. I think you can say that way to DLT. Perfect, right? So as a result, what is happening? Tomorrow, enterprise A or enterprise B can never change their facts because it's recorded on a blockchain. You, me, even the creator of the particular blockchain can never alter that. Correct? So that way, just imagine the benefits it is going to create with this simple logic. I'm not again going to talk any technical. It's simple. First, record on blockchain, then record on your respective ERPs. That's it. That is called triple accounting. I hope you will nowhere find this simple example, and you do have a lot of documents on triple accounting on Google. Right? Maybe I would definitely recommend to go there because first you understand the concept. Now you need to understand exactly how it happens, right? Okay, let's see the benefits of this. So if we do this triple accounting system, no dependency on audit, because there is no issue at all. Then how come the audit finding the frauds, finding the errors comes into picture? Because the data is authenticated at data entry state itself. Both the parties agreed, both the terminologies of the contract are recorded on a blockchain. And from there, it is just syncing into ERPs. That's it, right? So in this, if this approach is followed, there is no need of reconciliations. There is no much need on audit. Of course, the routine audit as per the compliances will still be required, but still not much dependency on finding the frauds or putting more efforts on the audits and finding it, the risk factors about it. Right. So that is all about the no dependency on audit. And yes, it's a public ledger. If at all you want to prove to your investor stating that, okay, I have done some millions of transactions with a country, so-and-so country, then it's a public ledger. If you give him the access, he can verify that because he is now relying on a trusted platform. He can rely that accounting the transaction has actually happened. Yeah. So that brings in the trust and reliability to the company. And of course, there are no errors, no frauds. If say, so can't we enter a wrong amount and get that accepted by both the parties? You can, but you will come to know who has done that. The accountability increases because blockchain stores everything. Which company has initiated that, which company has accepted that. So tomorrow, no company can say that this was done without my intention, without my knowledge. No. Every log of transaction, every audit trail is on a blockchain, which is an immutable copy. So definitely, it's again, let me make it very clear. Blockchain is not something which will act as a true copy forever. No. If you are putting something shit on a blockchain, it will be shit only. It will be shown as a true only. But still, it's not a lie detector at all. It never says only true. It says false also, but still accountability will be more. Say, I just want to modify an accounting entry in my books of accounts. I can do that in my SAP. Tomorrow I can erase all the data. But in a blockchain, if I did that, wrong entry will be recorded permanently and I can never erase that audit trail. So I'm accountable for that. I can still do the frauds, but I'm accountable. Yeah, let me make it very clear. Maybe sometimes you might end up getting an understanding that blockchain is a true copy. It always stores right data. No. Got it? Yes, there is no reconciliation because everything is automatically reconciled because entry is happening post confirmations from parties. Perfect. And you'll have a audit trail forever because it is immutable. Right? So any doubts, please put in the chat. Great. And Nataraju has a question. If triple accounting system is implemented, GST will become more transparent. Yes, of course, there's no need of even filing the return. Government will be having an access and they can check all the access, or they can prepare this particular summary from their logins directly. And that will be coded on a blockchain itself. Again, there's no people involving and preparing the summaries. Everything is traceable. And someone asked, is GST on blockchain? No, as of now, no. But if you talk about the e-invoicing concept, I can directly imagine that as something like a blockchain. Because if you see, invoice is getting routed first on a GST portal, and then that is getting distributed across the parties, seller and buyer. Agreed with this concept? So in future, they'll just simply change the database. They'll not change any process because it's already, we are into e-invoicing concept, about 20 crores, whatever for that matter. Maybe they will reduce these in a transition where they'll implement this, and they will simply change the underlying technology, which is called blockchain. And one fine day will be saying that entire GST is on blockchain. It is happening already. Go on a phase by phase manner. At the end phase, they'll be putting the database on a blockchain. Only that will be pending. Right? Exactly. Can you say any practical application where there is which is there using blockchain in accounting? For sure. Maybe the next slide might speak more on that. Let me go to the next slide. So guys, hope you got an understanding on triple accounting system. Definitely, I'll be sharing some of the resources in the chart of this particular session. You can go ahead and read that. Right? So before closing all the blockchain stuff, let me close this with a few more use cases. So this time, let's be more closer on use cases, not on the concepts, right? So other areas of blockchain implementation includes audit, taxation, transfer pricing, trade finance. Even we can integrate this with ERPs. Of course, the triple accounting concept also says that. And we can implement the blockchain in cross-border payments and settlements. All these are coming under finance accounting audit. So in the interest of time, maybe I'll take two examples here from this particular slide. I'll pick the transfer pricing. I'll pick the trade finance. I think every one of you might be knowing about trade finance now. Bill discounting or letter of credit or whatever supplier financing for that matter you can imagine, right? So how many projects are there with respect to trade finance? At least to my knowledge, just to my knowledge. I'm not a pro expert in this domain. I'm not a researcher of entire world happenings of blockchain, no. But just to my knowledge, there are minimum 3 live projects which are happening on trade finance with respect to on the top of blockchain. So just to name you one, maybe let me take the help of Google. Let us go to counter. So why I'm not able to fetch it? Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah. Oh, I just confused it with the, yeah, I think we're at the right state. So this is all about the counter, CY and TOUR. This is a blockchain application which is built by almost some 13 banks, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, and almost all the other 13 banks are residing across countries. So those banks came into a consortium and prepared an application which is called Counter, where these people will be doing letter of credit on the top of blockchain. So what is so special here? Just imagine how many days a letter of credit transaction happens in a company. Just give a random guess. I just want to do a transaction with a country B. And I know all the letter of credit process because I'm a finance manager. I'm a whatever CFO. So how much time it takes for you to get a LC from any bank? Just give me a random. Yeah, 2 days. I think that's a fair case. Great. So let's go to extreme case as well. Assuming there is no lunchtime, there is no, right? There's no holidays. It's 2 days. Okay. Okay. So let's go for one more answer. Any random guess, and that should be practical, not too less, not too high. Can I say 5 days? I'm just waiting for one more response, guys. Just one more, so that I'll not stuck here. I'll take it forward. Thank you, Venkatachalam. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, maybe let me go. Okay, so ideally that takes 5 days. Ideally, I'm not taking 2 days. I'm not taking 7 days. Let me make it 4 or 5 days, right? So I got a message. Great, 5 days. Of course, that's okay. Even normal also, with some banks, it can be 5 days, because it's not always a standard, because you are dealing with a lot of countries here. Sometimes the company might be in remote countries as well. Some remote countries, maybe not to name a few, maybe Cayman Islands, maybe some other extreme northeastern countries or whatever, right? So that times it definitely takes time. It's not that every bank will be working as active and giving it in 2 days, correct? But here, what is the solution that they are creating is every bank should be having a common platform. It's a common ERP, just like somewhere I have used earlier in this session. All banks using a common ERP. Same way they created a common application which every bank will be having login access, provided they should join this. That's a condition. Okay. So assume all the banks have joined this, right? Any LC application will be processed on a single platform, which means that there is no to and fro communications of documents. Seller will upload the document that will be visible by issuing bank, receiving country bank. Both the parties will be seeing that. Both the parties will be authenticating it on a single platform. You can see the status of LP on a single screen. That's it. There is nothing like this bank will be sending it via email to that bank or uploading this and they will be seeing at their own sweet time. No. Every process of LC is happening on a single interface, single ERP, just to understand in our terms, in a single screen, just to put in very common terms, correct? So in a single screen, you can see all the transactions, all the actions happening to certify a LC, to issue an LC. Just imagine the time saving, and moreover, the fun is not done at, it is happening on a blockchain. So tomorrow, any bank, any party to this particular letter of credit, I mean, seller or buyer, can never falsify their statements because it is already included on a blockchain. Whatever copy you said it was it was fumigated, it was insured. Whatever you're saying, whatever documents you're uploading, it is directly going on a blockchain. So, and you know who is the person who is uploading that, who is the person who is agreeing that, every log is there, every audit trail is there. So tomorrow, no one can change their words. If at all frauds can happen, yes, they'll happen, but still, you know the person who has done that. And you know how much time we are now getting an LCs if they are issued on a blockchain? 2 to 4 hours. Yeah, just to check this website, I'll be putting it in the chat. Check this. This is an amazing thing from HSBC Bank. Even, sir, you told 3. Just tell me the other 2. We do have something called VTrade. Even we do have TREDS platform, TREDS. This is something happening in India, TREDS. So that's a bill discounting platform, which is from a government of India initiative, and they are implementing blockchain. Not it, but still they have an idea to implement blockchain, and they are working with, not getting the name of the blockchain. It is, it starts with Montego. Yeah, it's a Montego, MONTEGO. It's not an Indian brand, somewhere from the US, right? That particular blockchain they are implementing in TREDS platform. Right, and the next platform is VTrade. Again, that also I'll put in the chat. Right, check these guys. So that is all from finance and accounts perspective. Maybe let me to take one more. Maybe let's take more on audit. Maybe let's me take a transfer pricing. So what is transfer pricing? You know, a lot of documentation is supposed to be maintained for say 6 years or 5 years, whatever your IT access, so that all the assessments of transfer pricing can be done. But here we have a blockchain platform which is from a big 5, which is Grant Order. You can see right here on my screen. So this particular company has created a blockchain which is called Inter.x. That's the name of the platform, which streamlines intercompany transactions. So all the transfer pricing things, intercompany transactions, reconciliations can be easily handled with this enterprise blockchain. And believe me, guys, all the big fours, EY, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG are already in sandbox for their blockchain applications. And I think I might said that EY has already rolled out few blockchain solutions, which is OPS chain. I'm not sure how many of you have heard it. It is a blockchain which has come to revolutionize supply chain management for its clients. You can see EY OPS chain. That's the name of the blockchain they use. Yeah. And when did they launch it? The news is from 2019. Right now we are in 2022. So by this time, I think 1 year back itself, they have a public version ready and people are using it. Right. So these are the things which are happening. And if you see why EY is doing, because they're transforming something in the audit domain, right? In the P2P domain or whatever, financial accounting domain. Correct. So we are supposed to know these tech updations happening, and we should stay updated with all the things happening. And yes, we can easily suggest to our clients as we do have the understanding on the concepts, right? So with that, I'm just closing the blockchain session. Yeah, in the next 30 minutes, I think I'm good to go to talk more on RPA and artificial intelligence, right? So I'll take one question meanwhile so that I can get a pause in switching the topics. So I do have a question. I think it's a statement basically. So Pranav is telling there are databases like ChainDB, which has blockchain properties, but suppose an organization is using MySQL as a database, will all the parties in the blockchain need to change their database to ChainDB or MySQL database will? Perfect question. I can say it can happen either ways. It all depends on MySQL updation, correct? Maybe I'll go with the, I think, the option 2. MySQL database will incorporate the blockchain properties itself. If there's so much enough, if they want to create their own blockchain, why not they'll do? Let me take an SAP example. We have SAP, we have blockchain solutions. Now, SAP has 2 options. Come out with their own blockchain, which you can name it SAP blockchain, whatever, or integrate with the existing blockchains via APIs, via oracles. Got it for now? It can be. It's the call of organization. If at all they are funding rich, go with creating a own blockchain. If they are not that much now, at least I just want to not to miss the flow. At least I'll integrate. Got it, Pranav? Or any questions you can ask as a continuation. And Pranav, can you say any? Yeah, I think I covered that. GST will become more transparency. Yes, I think I answered everything. Yeah, and I missed. I think the last question I'll take. Shiva, is same data is being assessed with a different primary key? XM data share between companies. So Shiva, Neela, I'm not getting the full name. Yeah, I'm not sure of this question. Maybe you can re-ask the question so that I'll definitely ask it. Yeah, I'm just not getting the question framing. Yeah, great. So I think with that we'll be closing the blockchain session. I can talk more basically, but still it's not the right time to speak as we do have other topics as well. And meanwhile, let me give my YouTube link. So it was Global Finex. Yeah, just to pause for 2 minutes. Let me give the channel name. It was Global Finex. This was my channel where you can see all the cryptocurrency projects, where you can see all the blockchain use cases explained. And I do conduct some RPA sessions. So everything you can see. So this is something my friend and myself are carrying. And we do have almost, not sure if the videos count. With the 15K subscribers, yeah, 14.5K subscribers, we do have all the content. Yeah, you can check it for free. So I'll just let me put that in the chat. Yeah, so I'll share the my contact as well in the chat. Maybe you guys can please text me. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm not noting it right away, but please, yeah, hope you understand. Great, and this is my LinkedIn profile so that we can connect. And at the end of this particular session, I'll also introduce to my course as well, which I have created only for CA community, putting that in mind. Hope you like my delivery. If you are sure to go ahead, you might end up signing up for it as well. Yeah, so this is my website where my course is there. So you can even see that. Maybe I'll resume this session in the next 30 seconds. Yeah, I think I shared all the links. And if at all you are interested, maybe see this particular website, which is called GT Blockchain Solution. Okay, you're not able to access the chat. Oh, sorry. I got it. I'm just copy pasting everything again. I'm sorry for that. I didn't see the setting. Great. Yeah. Hope you got all the links. Perfect. And this is my website, guys, premkasi.in. Due to some issues from hosting site, none of our websites are working, but still, I'm just sharing it so that you can see. Yeah. And I'm very sorry for that. 30 minutes I have spent there to get it, but I'm not able to reach the hosting provider. Fine. So let's get into again our stuff, which is now the second part, which is RPA and artificial intelligence. Right. So, so it's a complete shift. Blockchain is something that was all discussed. So just save it and we'll be discussing the doubts again. Now we are on to RPA and artificial intelligence. Right. So again, I'm starting with a fresh introduction. Myself, Prem Kasi. I'm here to discuss RPA and AI into finance, accounting, and automation and audit. Right. So I think how many of you guys have idea about this RPA and AI? At least if you have a basic idea, say yes, so that I'll get the pulse. That's it. Say yes or no. That's totally fine. Yeah. Somewhat. Yes. Great. Perfect. Again, the same promise, guys. I'll make it very simple so that it will not be too much technical. And once we develop interest, definitely, I'll definitely suggest you. Oh, thank you, Venkat. So I'll definitely recommend you to go through some of the web pages, some of the YouTube sessions, some of the Udemy courses as well, so that you can be an expert on that, right? So without wasting more theoretical stuff, let's get into concepts. So what is RPA? What is AI? What is machine learning? So again, just ignore all the technical definitions right here or write something you are finding on a Google. Just ignore that. Just get an understanding. Just listen to me. Yeah. So one thing, RPA, AI, which is artificial intelligence, ML, which is machine learning, are completely different topics. Of course, they follow the same domain, but there is a difference. So what is it? Okay. So just like the way I'm thinking, you are thinking and giving a judgment on a scenario, can machines think and give the judgment? Of course, we all know the answer. It is yes, right? So how the machines are learning? To give a judgment, I need some experience. I need some learning into my mind. Then only I can deliver a judgment, correct? So 3 steps here. I need to learn. I need to get an experience. Then I need to analyze. I need to deliver the judgment, correct? So these are the 4 set of things any decision making involves, correct? Right? So here also same way. Machine should learn first. So that things will be happening under the concept called machine learning, which means that we'll be inserting or we'll be pushing loads of data. That can be Excel data, that can be whatever format that the protocol accepts or the model accepts, right? So that big data, remember this word big data, which means a huge chunks, volumes and volumes of data, rows, columns, whatever you can imagine on Excel. So that big data will be pushing to the algorithm. Right. So these are the past things that have happened. And now machine will try to analyze what is wrong with data or what is the connection with this data. I have given 1,000 samples, whether I can frame a linking or the relation with these 1,000 line types. So that is what the machine will do. And that particular stage or that particular concept is called machine learning. So simply, it is a field of study that gives the computers to learn without programming. I haven't programmed it here. I just have a machine learning model which is taking the input. Understand very keenly, guys. It is taking the input and it is creating a relation. It is understanding the relation between these patterns, which means it is creating its own logic. Yeah. So here I'm not giving the logic. I'm not giving the software. I'm not giving the coding. I'm just giving the big data, the result of past transactions, the samples of past transactions with which it is creating its model. Right? So that is called a machine learning. And now comes artificial intelligence, which means that taking this knowledge into machine mind, it is now analyzing or applying its knowledge, its experience on the fresh data. First, I have given the past data, which is machine learning. Now I'm giving a new data where the system is now relating this fresh input to the past experiences, which means it is applying its knowledge. That is called artificial intelligence. Got the difference? Machine learning is the learning part from the past transactions and creating a logic or creating a software in a simple terms. AI is application of the knowledge that it has got in the current scenario, in the current input. I made it very simple. If you guys have any doubt on this, I'll definitely explain it once again. I don't want to read out any technical definitions and say this is AI, this is ML. No. ML, learning part, creating a logic part. AI, applying the logic, applying the experience to the recent input that we are asking the computer to do. Any doubts? If no doubts, please say no so that I'll take it forward. Yeah, no, or is anything, guys? Yeah, even I don't have a time, so that, yeah, perfect, Nataraju. Thank you for that. Perfect, Prasanna. Yeah, so that's the difference between AI and ML. Now, sir, you do have one more concept called RPA. What is that? How we can imagine that? You explain between AI and ML. What is this RPA? Right. So RPA is nothing but robotic process automation, which is something I have done in my previous company, which is in Bahrain. So basically, what RPA means is that the tasks that we are doing will be done by robots. And this is the article that you can see my team here. I'm representing the entire finance part of the company, and you can see me as a single point of contact. So what I'm doing here is that there are certain tasks to be done by the finance and accounting professionals, right? Passing an accounting entry, preparing some MAS reports, or authenticating some workflow, right? Approval, whether I can pay that particular vendor, maybe initiating a invoice payment, authenticating that particular payment. So there are various repeated steps here. Correct. So I'm designing a robot. I mean, I'm working with a team of developers. These two are developers, this guy and this guy. So I'll be giving inputs on what I want. And based on my inputs, they'll be designing the robots, the soft robots, right? And these robots will do all the work for us. So what you are saying, how these robots will do, we are not able to imagine. Okay, so let's get back to our imagination. So RPA is nothing but a soft robot, yeah, which can copy our actions. Right, the way I'm pressing these keyboard keys, I'm typing Excel, I'm opening Excel, and I'm doing some data entry. So the same way, not nothing from the back end. The same way how I'm able to move the mouse, move the cursor, everything, the same way a robot is able to do. And when I say robot, it's not a hard robot, it's a soft robot, right? So that is what called RPA. And many companies are already implementing this so that they can have the cost benefits along with the other 10, 20 benefits as well. And regarding this particular RPA concept, I have a dedicated course which I'll be introducing after this particular session, right? So that is all about the RPA. So just to connect all these 3 points, RPA is a program or a soft robot doing the works for us. That is called RPA. Artificial intelligence, which means that computer or the model is able to suggest me with its experience, because that is how the calculations of provisions, I mean, just to coming to our example, provision calculations, credit ratings, all these suggestions on procurements are happening in the ERPs via the concept called artificial intelligence. Just to let you know, guys, in SAP, we do have a concept called intelligent RPA, IRPA, or intelligent automation for that matter. Maybe I can show right away on the SAP page, which means that they have an AI mechanism in that particular ERP, which is SAP, where you can talk and get your purchase order status, get your purchase order initiated, get payments to your vendors, all via charts. Yeah, you can simply chart, I want to raise an invoice for item. That's it. Your purchase order will be ready, and that will be sent in as an approval to your boss. Right. So those models, and even sometimes the models will suggest, okay, this particular person, talking about the payments of vendors or the receivables from customers, this customer may not pay you. And this is what the probability that this customer will fail. So that imagine the provisions accuracy that you'll be getting. Right, with the advent of this IFRS 9, if I'm not wrong, my knowledge on IFRS is very less. Right, we are supposed to follow this ECL, expected credit loss, and where we are supposed to follow various percentages, probabilities, saying that this category of customers default rate might be this much. But there we are going with the assessments, we are going with the judgments, but there we can implement these models so that all the customers' prepayment history will be analyzed, and model will analyze and come to a conclusion that, okay, this particular customer falling under construction category might end up defaulting at this percentage probability. This customer from the government, perfect, he's from government. I can see his history stating that he has never defaulted. Though there is a delay, governments will definitely release the funds, right? So that's the logic that system has generated, and with that logic, it will give me risk factor as 0. So all these data models, all these percentages can be derived from a exact data using these AI models, correct? So that is all about AI. And what is machine learning? You got a clarity, right? So I think I'm clear with that. And now let's go to the use cases. I think needless to speak about these statistics. Of course, I can show you a lot of statistics which speaks that RP is the future, percentage, so and so percentage of companies are implementing. That's all true, but yeah, it's not something really required. I hope you understood the intention and the need for implementing these RPA. or even AI and ML for that matter. You can see just, I'll read out the headings. 50% of Indian companies, I'm not taking any world perspective or any other country perspective. Let me stay within India. And this is the summary from, I think it was done by Automation Anywhere. Yeah, this was from Bangalore. Yeah. 50% of Indian companies are ready to implement automation. When I say automation, that can be a mix of RPA, AI, and ML, of course, by 2024. Hardly within the next 2 to 3 years, 50% of the companies, right? And needless to speak, you can also see the recent, I think 6 months back, a massive cuts from TCS, Accenture on the software employees because of these enhancements in their work processes. Right. Even I can talk more about the future of jobs report from World Economic Forum, where they'll also say that more than, I'm not sure of the number, but yeah, more than 50% of the companies wants to implement RPA automation as a result of COVID. Since that was hampered their operations, now they just want to get the cost savings, and that will be possible via implementation of these digitization initiatives. Correct. Again, you can see a number of times of India reports of whatever for that matter. Yeah, IT companies set to slash 3 million jobs by 2022 due to automation, right? And they are expecting to save $100 billion, right? So that is the stage we are into. So I just want to skip this more, right? So even I do have a demo to show you guys. Maybe it might take up, I think it might end up taking 3.5 minutes. So if you want, I'll play it, or maybe if you want me to continue with the use cases, I'll then play it at the end. Right. So I hope that video will make you clear on how this RPA works with our SAPs or ERPs. Right. So let me do one thing. Let me continue the session and play it. Okay. Okay, then I'll play it. Maybe just give me 2 minutes. I'll play it. I hope you will definitely enjoy, because this is what something I got from my course. Okay, let me just wait. Yeah. Okay, so just confirm you guys are able to see the system audio.
What robotic process?
Yeah, I hope the system audio is being shared, right?
Automation or RP.
Can someone confirm? Thank you, guys. Yeah, let me take it forward so that I can give the context and show you how it functions. Perfect. And this is what something exactly I have done in my previous company. Right. So just to set up the context, not to play the video since beginning. So guys, just imagine how the invoice payment processing happens in your company, right? You guys have got a good from so-and-so supplier, so-and-so vendor, whatever. Now you want to pay to him. What is the manual process? Can someone, maybe if they want to speak directly, they can unmute and speak to me. So what is the actual process? Let me give the hint. Maybe I might receive the invoice from vendor. It can be an email. It can be a hard copy. First step. Step 2, I'll verify with the GRN, right? With the DC, whatever. Third step, I'll verify the rates as per PIPO. I'll verify maybe I'm telling the answers, okay. Maybe I'll verify the contents of the particular invoice date, vendor name, vendor rate, GST, everything was set right. Everything was accurate, correct? Then what I'll do, if everything is perfect, what I'll do, I'll log into my ERP, start entering the data, correct? No, say I have, just to increase the complexity, I am ending up receiving thousands and thousands of invoices per day. Happens, no? That happens with almost all the big players. It's not that a company might have only 10 invoices per day. No, lakhs and even thousands and thousands of invoices will be received by these BPO companies for that matter, or even software companies for that matter, right? So possible, right? HP, even I remember HP used to process so lakhs and lakhs of invoices per day from suppliers, spare parts, car manufacturers, right? So just go into that scenario, right? So if everything is perfect, they'll start entering the data and they'll then pass the accounting entry, their ERP, and they'll also follow one more approval, because initiator and approval should never be the same, correct? And organizations will have all those internal controls set up and they'll follow with that way. So now just tell me, say there is an invoice with say 25 line items, 25 item codes, 25 line items spread across multiple pivots. Sometimes happens, no? Or then it can be a single invoice for 2 pivots from a common supplier, of course. So how much time it will take for a person to enter this? You can make your assumptions. Assume he's super fast, super typing is and all very fast, verification is very fast. How much time it can take in that scenario? Assume it's an average person who just knows a basic system speed. Of course, he needs to do his due diligence before entering that into system. So in these 2 scenarios, what is the average time a person can take? Invoice has 25 line items, big invoice. Guys, you have to be very fast so that I can close. Great. Just a wild guess, guys. From the starting itself, I told you, it's just a wild guess. Maybe I can say on an average, 25 line items, 5 minutes. Best of the best case. Worst case, 12 to 15 minutes, because he has to verify the items across multiple purchase orders. It's not that everything will come on the screen. No. Correct? So now let us see if this is something automated where completely no person is required. Just invoice will be sent via email by the vendor. Now the system will read out that email, extract that, download that particular invoice, copy the extracts, and fill the data into software and submit to the person only for verification. That's it. Of course, I can't give the accounting entry passing also to the system. Then I'll not know that, right? So only the authentication part, I leave it to the person. That can be finance manager, that can be accountant or whatever. Okay, so that's the scenario, guys. So let us see that in action. I hope you'll definitely enjoy this.
And you are about to see a robot performing the following activities. Monitoring a dedicated folder where invoices are saved in PDF format.
Perfect. Soft copy of invoice in a folder.
Reading invoices from that folder one by one.
This is done by system, robot.
Extracting key information from the invoices. Opening
Oracle,
SAP.
SAP, Zoho, whatever.
Filling in invoice details in SAP. Sending email notifications. Please note that the robot will do some activities in the background, such as most of the invoice-related actions, monitoring a folder or checking its email address. Now let's see it working. Right
Guys,
now.
Got it now? So this is the way robot is performing. When I say robot, it's a soft robot. So what it is doing, it is maintaining a dedicated folder where it is downloading all the email invoices, reading the content, extracting key information, because I don't want every information in the invoice. I'll only read whatever is relevant. I'll open my ERP, that can be whatever, Tally, whatever you imagine. Login, enter all the details, send a mail to final approval. Let's see how this is being mentioned. And just to give a disclaimer, just to have your visualization, the video will be played slowly. It's not that robots are slow. They are very fast, super fast, but just for our imagination, it was kept slow. Yeah, playing it.
It's monitoring a folder where 3 invoices are stored and collecting all the information needed so it can register them one by one. It then asks the tester to introduce the email address where the posting notification will be sent.
That it will notify. That's it.
And also performs basic checks to see if the SAP is open and runs it on its own if not. Logging into SAP using its credentials, it then starts processing the invoices one by one. We can see it filling in data such as vendor code, invoice date, invoice number, invoice amount, invoice description, and GL account, and ends up by filling the payment term. Following that, it registers the remaining 2 invoices in the assigned company code. An email containing the SAP registration number is sent automatically by the robot after.
So what it has done, it has received 3 invoices, that 3 was stored, read contents, opened the ERP, and again it checked it. Not that directly opening one more ERP window. It just checked whether the application is already active. If it is active, no need of opening it again, right? It entered to the login screen, gave the login details, entered all the data fasting, and now it is sending an email, right? So again, sending an email to the vendor as well, stating that document was successfully processed. And now just to expand our imagination, say out of 3, 1 invoice has a wrong info, happens, right? So that time it is sending a question to the finance manager stating that what you want me to do, whether you want me to process or you want me to stop. Let us see that in action.
Successfully registering each invoice.
Support needed for processing.
Checking in the background, the robot verifies whether the VAT on the invoice matches the one in our database, and if so, will post it automatically. Otherwise, it will park it and send a dedicated email to the responsible person highlighting this difference and asking what to do.
You can see the yes or
post
no.
the invoice or to cancel it and send it back to the vendor. All the invoice
And now person is
details are
replying.
visible in the email it sends.
Yes.
So let's reply with yes to the message for an invoice with a VAT difference. Finally, it will check its email address in the background, access SAP using the appropriate transaction code, and post the invoice. And that's it. The robot has successfully posted the 3 invoices in SAP.
Great. I think that was an end. So how was it, guys? And to implement these projects, just imagine the level of interaction a CA has to do with the programmers. It's not that easy. And first of all, we need to identify the process where I can implement this robot. It's not that I have a robot, I have a team, I can implement robotics anywhere. No, a lot of things to be studied, a lot of tasks to be known with respect to RPA, the limitations, the concepts, the technical capabilities that one needs to install, the add-ons, all the technical stuff we need to master, then we can lead the team so that the companies that we are working can have these implementation benefits. And I'll leave that imagination to you, what is the importance a CA can get if you guys are having interest and skills about on these technical topics, right? So I'll just leave it to you. Maybe I'll share this video as well so that you can watch it again if at all. I'm a bit fast. Okay. And Pranav has a question. Would you recommend CMA to learn Python for implementing RPA? No. See, RPA doesn't have to do with the Python. And let me tell you why. The reason is it's a no-code, low-code platform. The RPA tools like UiPath, even open robots, yeah, these new concepts are something like a no-code, low-code platform, which means that absolutely to design a robot, you have nothing to do with this code, right? So since we are into that particular mode of no-code, low-code platform, I totally recommend not to, but definitely if you are someone who is interested to understand Python, that will be definitely an added advantage. But never I would recommend, if you are someone who is already interested to Python, definitely please continue. That will give you a competitive advantage over any others at any point of time. Totally 5 out of 5. But if you ask me as a question, definitely no. Just learn as a functional consultant on what ideas we can give. If at all you are given a scenario, we are a problem solvers there. We are not a designers for that matter, right? Perfect. Can automation anywhere UiPath perform all the RPA that we want to automate? Of course, yes, provided that goes with the features that we want to add on. Let me tell you, maybe I think Pranav, you ask a very good question. Let me tell you, if at all you want to automate an activity which involves handwriting text, happens now. It doesn't mean that every of your vendor will be giving a soft copy. Sometimes you end up seeing a handwritten text. So for that, you need to install a new add-on into your automation anywhere, into your UiPath. So that way, we do have add-ons so that the task will be completed. So all we have to do is give these ideas, give this thought process to the designers so that they'll design for us. And if at all you leave everything to them, you know the project it goes, the cost it takes. So we, as an insider, as an employee, we have to be monitoring that, right? That support we have to give. And sometimes, let me keep it very simple. Sometimes we have to think out of the box and give the creative ideas instead of directly putting that particular technology. So as I told, Prem, in this scenario, can I give a workaround? So instead of having an add-on, because add-on also is not 100% foolproof. Handwriting text will be read. It's not foolproof for that matter, correct? And that's a fact. The models are there, but that gives 80 to 85% accuracy. So what is the workaround? Think of it. Why not I can automate that particular supplier as well? Why not I can speak to him and convince him or give him some shortest utility so that he can prepare via soft copies. So these type of collaborations, these type of discussions, negotiations are something that we will be having with all our stakeholders. When I say all our stakeholders, our colleagues, bankers, investors, whomsoever, vendors, suppliers, customers, whomsoever, right? So guys, just an announcement. So this is my website, 𝐏𝐫𝐨𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 watch. Maybe you can go there, just see what I'm covering. And this is purely for CAs, purely for finance team, because I'm a CA, I'm not a developer. You can see all these contents. You can see 30, I can say, videos, almost 5 hours course, which I have prepared only for CAs. Yeah. So if you're interested, do check the content first. I'm not going to ask you to join. Just check the content first. And it's a certified course, just like our other lifetime access. I don't want to restrict the learning. And if you are so interested, please do check it. Yeah, I'm leaving up to you. Right. So just to continue on this, since we have a beautiful demo, and these are the possible use cases we have. I'll take 5 more minutes, guys, so that I can wrap this particular session. So these are the AI use cases. When I say AI, it is nothing but applying its knowledge. Yeah. So we do have audit software which are having fraud prevention features. We do have chatbots, just like the way I mentioned about SAP. We do have customer support. Even discussions are happening via IVR systems, and it definitely uses AI. And we do have trading algorithms currently, like some of our, I can say, the DMAT providers are already having this trading bots, correct? And this AI is something that we can use in our provision calculations. If you are a big company, if you want to follow the law with the complete risk management incorporated, definitely yes, your companies are looking for AI-based provision models, right? Yeah. So at the end, I'll also tell you what is something that we are expected as a CEOs, right? So just to wrap up the use cases, in finance and accounts, these are some things which we can do by implementing RPA together with AI. You can see customized MIS preparations, financial statements preparations. If at all my SAP, my Tally, or my Zoho books are not giving me in so and so format, I can hire a robot for that, doing that. Sometimes I might end up doing it on a daily basis, daily P&L, daily balance sheet. So why to hire for this routine task? Maybe if that is, again, you need to do all the cost benefit analysis, that is for sure. So do that. If it is something feasible, implement. Nothing wrong. And you can see the benefits of implementing RPA. Needless to speak, I can say 16 to 20 benefits of implementing RPA. One is employee job satisfaction. Of course, there is a risk, but still there is a job satisfaction because we are not doing any more the routine stuff. Reconciliations, no need of, reconciliations can be done by that. I think just to relate to Optotax, even they do have AI models, RPA models embedded into their system so that account reconciliations, GST reconciliations are happening by default. You can see their demo videos as well so that you'll be able to fairly imagine the content I'm telling versus their product, right? And that is from a finance perspective. And taxation perspective, again, reconciliations, return filings, TDS compliances, even tax accounting, maybe seeing the invoice, this AI will tell me that, okay, this is the TDS section you want to use. Commission, contract, rent, whatever. So seeing the nature of narrations in the invoice, that models will be suggesting to you. Yeah. And once that model is accurate, you can see that accounting is done without accountants, automatic, right? From OCR, everything is done, right? And almost, I'm just skipping, I know, right? Use cases in audit, we do have audit information requests done by the robots. So before you go into the audit, these robots will ask the client on the data that they want to receive from the client. Maybe this is something really useful for practicing CS as well as big companies which are having their own internal auditing, just like the way we have in L&D. We have sites across pan India. Every state you can find L&D construction something. So we used to have this requirement. Yeah. And these robots can do pre-audit analytics, just like the basic checks and balances they can do, and they can give out the summary. And we do have audit tools which are already using this RPA. And with respect to audit tools, I want to just tell you something. We don't have a connection between our ERPs and audit tools. Correct? No? Every time you will download some data, clean it, upload it into your audit software. Nothing like that. With RPA, these sort of data cleaning stuff, data formatting, all these things can be done by RPAs. Document conversion, that is something with respect to language conversion. When you're going for international audit, where they are using documents in their own language, maybe Russian, you can use these RPA and AI models to convert that for you once for all. No need of going there, changing that document to one more language, all those stuff. Yeah. And we do have audit sampling as well, where these robots will be performing the sampling techniques that you want and give you the things you need to verify in depth, right? Sometimes verifying audit evidence, when you have this ticketing, IRCTC ticket or bus tickets or airplane tickets, these bots will check for you instead of you checking on their websites and giving the accuracy, right? And there are other bots as well which will prepare audit report for you based on the pending emails in your mailbox. Of course, you need to do certain data formatting, but yes, they'll help you in framing that report. Since that more on audit, I just want to skip these two and cover more on audits, right? And just two more minutes just to cover on the careers for professionals. We can act as a consultants where we can give ideas to our companies stating that, okay, so-and-so area you can implement blockchain, so-and-so area you can implement RPA, because you know the limitations, you know everything. Maybe take a look at my course where I'll be speaking. So once you know these content, you know what is RPA, how a bot works, what are the benefits, how to select a process, what are the misconceptions, what are the challenges, what are the, I can say, use cases, what type of bots you want to use, and you have almost understanding on AI, ML, and hyper automation, all these things. You have seen few demos, and various players of RPA. You're the right fit to suggest, man. As simple as that. Because these are something which is not a small investments. Companies end up paying some 50 lakhs, 40 lakhs, assuming an ROI in down the line 6 months to 1 year. So you are a person, if you are someone who is giving the right decision, you can see the ROI in the right times. Else, your companies, your clients will end up losing big on this tech implementations, because tech implementations are not an easy way. So every time, whether you are implementing ERP, whether you are implementing RPA, you're implementing blockchain, these projects go on for year to year. And the limitation is that finding the right talent now. I'm not sure how many of you agree for this. So how many of CAs are ready with these tech skills? I'm not sure. So that's the intention behind putting my 72 days here. So it's not that easy to create a course. I know I leave it to your imagination. You need to prepare content. You need to explain that. You need to relate to your personal experiences. So with all that, I have prepared this content. And maybe in the next 15 to 20 days, or say max 1 month, I'm planning to come up with a blockchain course where I'll be explaining in a very simple terms. Similar to these 30-35, you can see one more course listing very soon. Yeah, great. And you can act as a consultant. You can be an auditor. So SAP we have seen, like the purchase order processing. You can be an auditor to audit that, just like the system audits you will be doing, right? It's not that company has implemented something that is working very right now. They need to have it tested by an auditor like you and me, where you will be throwing some wrong data, black box approach or whatever, and then you will be finalizing the accuracy of product, right? And we can act as a blockchain bloggers, where you can write some technical blogs. I mean, these two are core, and these I just added out of my imagination, right? Bloggers you can write. I'm not sure, my website is still not working. I'm just getting this site can't be reached. And this is something happening across all the sites, not with one or two, across all the domains hosted on Bluehost, whatever. Yeah. And you can be a project manager, just like the one I have been to. And you can be a process owner as well, like just like the way I have handled a project in my previous company. You can take the responsibility of entire project, or you can take ownership of a single process as well, right? And something as an extension, you can get an internship in crypto exchanges if you're someone who wants to lead on cryptos, because the blockchain underlying technology, so it's easy for you to understand cryptos. So that's it, guys. And I think this is something I already shared. You can see these links so that you can try it if something is found really useful to you guys. And let me give my contact number as well, so that we can be in touch. And I'll be available across all the mediums: Telegram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever. Yeah, so this is my number. So I think we are at right time, maybe 8 minutes I have taken extra. Great. So if you have any questions, if you want to ask me something, you can spend about 10 more minutes or go with the flow. Yeah. And thank you, Optotax, for giving me this opportunity. So I think it was a big comeback for me. So recently, if you see, I'm not that much active, but still great. So yeah, any questions, guys? I think stage is for you now.
Any of the participants have any question with this amazing webinar which we had today? So you can please go ahead and ask.
I see 2 hand raise. Yeah. Right. So any feedback? I think I'm not sure whether Optotax will be covering the feedback. If yes, maybe we can share that.
Okay, then I guess everyone has understood every bit of what you have explained, and there are no actually doubts remaining. So it's really a good thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Premji. It was really nice of a session, and obviously very well justified. We all got to know your detailed learning about the concept which you were here today, and definitely very nice course. And I really think that there'll be so many participations who actually wants to learn in simple language about these technical things. They'll be getting in touch with you soon. So this is my personal belief on what I heard today from you. So heads off to this very learned session. Thank you so much to all the participants who were not able to attend today's session or joined in between. It will be available on our YouTube channel. So you can just go and check there. It will be available on recording mode. And the presentation, this amazing and wonderful presentation, will be shared with all of you. So don't worry about that. And telling about Optotax platform, we keep organizing these kind of sessions. You can go and check it on our Optotax YouTube channel. If you like the content, please subscribe it so that you don't miss these kind of interesting sessions. So thank you so much. I can read from comments that there are so many professionals who are really amazed by the session and appreciative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Archana ji. Thank you so much, Pranav ji. It's very nice you joined and made the session very much interactive. Really appreciable. So that's all from my side.
And guys, a sincere request, please do join the Telegram group. I think WhatsApp is something, I'm just tweeting it so that, the group is tweeting because of the issues with the WhatsApp, like the new joiners cannot see the previous content. So I'm just going with the Telegram. Yeah, hope you understand. And thank you, Pranav ji. You asked a lot of questions and you made it very interactive. Great.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Prem ji, again for joining the session. Signing off then. Good night. See you in the third day of the session. Good night.
Thank you.